Tonight, flight delays in Southern California with the air traffic control tower at Burbank Airport unstaffed amid the government shutdown, and officials say it will stay that way for at least the next few hours. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. We do begin tonight with those major developments on air travel and the ongoing government shutdown. Tonight, the FAA confirms there is no staff working the air traffic control tower at the Burbank Airport. The empty tower, the result of the government shutdown, which is now in its sixth day. Controllers are expected to continue working, even though they are unclear about when they will receive their next paycheck. California Governor Gavin Newsom says controller staffing will resume as normal at 10 o'clock tonight. Aviation expert and former spokesperson for San Francisco International Airport, Mike McCarran, described the impact this is going to have for travelers.
They're going to space the aircraft out further, slow things down. I don't know what the normal arrival rate is for Burbank off the top of my head, but say it was 30 planes an hour, they'll probably go down to 20, something like that. So if you're flying in or out of Burbank, you can expect delays. And you might see, as kind of this lasts very long, the airlines starting canceling flights out of Burbank because they don't want those delays to affect them further down in their routes throughout the country.
And in the meantime, air traffic at Burbank Airport is being handled off-site by the Southern California Terminal Radar Approach Control, also known as TRACON. This is the system that handles air traffic for multiple airports across Southern California. Now, Governor Newsom shared this message on social media tonight, writing, quote, "Thanks, Trump. Burbank Airport has 0 air traffic controllers today from 4:15 to 10 p.m. today because of your government shutdown." Now, along with air traffic controllers, TSA agents are also being forced to work during this shutdown without knowing when they'll get paid. Fox's Connor Hansen has more on the potential disruptions travelers are likely to see as this government shutdown drags on.
Well, up till now, there hasn't been a great deal of pain. There could be a great deal of pain.
That pain could soon be felt by government workers if they miss their next paycheck. Air traffic controllers are still expected to show up and keep the skies safe, but the lack of pay adds strain to a profession already facing a workforce shortage, aging equipment, long hours, and high stress.
They have mortgages, car payments, things of that nature. Like, how can you work for free?
We had a slight tick up in sick calls, yes. And then you'll see delays that come from that.
A shortage of controllers caused significant delays during the last government shutdown in 2019 and was a major factor in it reopening. Officials say staffing shortages won't impact safety, but they could slow things down.
It's safe. The controllers are coming to work. They may have to slow the system down at times. But that's just part of not having enough staffing in the first place.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says funding for the Essential Air Service will run out on Sunday. That program helps keep airports open in smaller communities in places like Alaska.
So there's many small communities across the country that will now no longer have the resources to make sure they have air service in their community.
The government shutdown will also slow down the massive effort to hire and train thousands of new air traffic controllers. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
A judge today sentenced a former Los Angeles deputy mayor to a year of probation after he called in a fake bomb threat to City Hall last year. 61-year-old Brian Williams pleaded guilty to fabricating that bomb threat while serving as deputy mayor of public safety for the city. Prosecutors say he falsely told police that he'd received a call from someone who said they had planted a bomb at City Hall because they were, quote, tired of the city's support of Israel. Williams didn't say why he made that fake threat, but said it happened during mental health struggles following the death of a family member. The legal battle over the National Guard continues to intensify. President Trump's deployment of troops to several U.S. cities is being met with resistance and lawsuits from some local leaders, with California at the center of this fight. KTVU's political reporter Greg Lee has been tracking the latest developments throughout the day, and he has more tonight.
Very dangerous set of actions by the Trump administration. but grateful to see them slapped down.
California Attorney General Rob Bonta reacting after a judge temporarily blocked President Trump from deploying any federalized National Guard troops into Portland. Oregon and California sued after Mr. Trump ordered troops from both states to Portland to respond to ICE protests.
We have no choice but to do this. And when judges give us rulings that, you don't have to do it, Portland is on fire. Portland's been on fire for years.
The president and press secretary slammed the decision, saying the Trump-appointed judge is untethered in reality. White House lawyers plan to appeal, while Bonta said he's confident the ruling will stand.
She said that we are a nation of constitutional law, not martial law. And she said that here Trump's decision was untethered from the facts and that the facts matter.
You guys are framing this like the president wants to take over the American cities with the military. The president wants to help these local leaders who have been completely ineffective in securing their own cities.
The legal battle over the National Guard erupting in other U.S. cities. The state of Illinois following California's lead, suing over the deployment of troops from Illinois and Texas into Chicago. Governor J.B. Pritzker called it an unconstitutional invasion.
Donald Trump is using our service members as political props and as pawns in his illegal effort to militarize our nation's cities.
A federal judge declined to block the deployment Monday afternoon, allowing units to move in. The president speaking about Chicago the way he has of other Democratic-led cities, describing them as lawless.
It's like a war zone. It's probably worse than almost any city in the world. You could go to Afghanistan, you can go to a lot of different places.
Part of the reason we have this patchwork is, I think, the fact that the statute, by definition, is based on what is happening in each jurisdiction and whether or not the factual predicate is there to give the president the power to send in the National Guard.
The mayor of Chicago joined the lawsuit and also signed an executive order barring ICE agents from using city-owned property for operations.
Reckless group of heavily armed mass individuals roaming throughout our city that are not accountable to the people of Chicago. Their actions put all Chicagoans at risk.
As several court battles play out, neither side showing any signs of backing down.
They are not allowed to advance their agenda unlawfully. So if they break the law, we will see them in court and we will stop them.
We have an Insurrection Act for a reason. If I had to enact it, I'd do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up, sure.
Greg Lee, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
President Trump today signed an executive order reversing a Biden-era decision that blocked a mining road in Alaska. The move faces some opposition among tribes and environmental groups. The 211-mile-long mining road in Alaska has been at the center of a decades-long regulatory and legal fight. But the Trump administration says it would open up the state to a lucrative mineral-rich district. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum said construction on that gravel road will begin next spring.
President Trump, when he said drill baby drill, he also was mine baby mine. We've got to get back in the mining business. China controls 85 to 100% of all the mining and refining of the top 20 critical minerals. And in this mine area up there, we got copper, lead, zinc, gold, silver, gallium, germanium, so rich in all of the minerals that we need.
Construction on that road was halted under the Biden administration last year. Officials at the time concluded that all proposed routes to the mining district would result in irreparable harm to permafrost and wildlife, including caribou, which many locals rely on for food. Police in Southern California say they've arrested the owner of a popular shoe store and retail website and seized about $500,000 worth of stolen sneakers. This bust happened last week at a business in Santa Monica. Police say they found more than 2,100 pairs of Nike sneakers and 150 boxes of Nike apparel, and they say all of it was stolen. 37-year-old Adil Shams was arrested. He's the owner of Cool Kicks, a Los Angeles store that specializes in reselling limited edition sneakers and apparel. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, former NFL quarterback and sports analyst Mark Sanchez facing new, more serious charges following an assault that happened over the weekend. Also, the 3 winners of the Nobel Prize for Medicine have been announced, and 2 of them are from right here in the West.
And in weather, here's a live camera looking out toward the San Francisco Bay Area in the clear. In fact, the Bay Area, nice warm up today. We'll talk more about your West Coast Wrap forecast coming up after the break.
Former USC quarterback and current Fox Sports analyst Mark Sanchez is now facing new, more serious charges in connection with a stabbing that happened over this past weekend. The former quarterback for the New York Jets and briefly for the Denver Broncos was stabbed and then arrested in Indianapolis. He initially faced misdemeanor charges. This morning, prosecutors announced a level 5 felony battery charge against Sanchez. According to police, Sanchez is accused of approaching a truck driver while intoxicated outside of a hotel and assaulting him in a dispute over a parking space. The driver then reportedly pepper sprayed and stabbed Sanchez during that confrontation.
You have the allegations involve a 38-year-old man becoming involved in an altercation with a 69-year-old man who sustained significant and very severe injuries as a result of that altercation.
The victim in this case suffered several lacerations to his cheek and his jaw. If convicted, Sanchez is facing up to 6 years in prison. Prosecutors say additional charges could still be filed as this investigation unfolds. There are new questions tonight for Washington-based Boeing following fresh concerns about its 787 Dreamliner. India's leading body of pilots has asked regulators to inspect all Boeing 787 Dreamliners operating in that country for electrical issues after one of the planes abruptly deployed an emergency power system mid-air over this past weekend. The glitch happened on a flight from India moments before it landed safely in Birmingham, England on Saturday. Back in June, an Air India Boeing 787 Dreamliner bound for London crashed in the northwestern city of Ahmedabad, killing 260 people, including 19 people on the ground. It was one of the worst aviation disasters in India's history. The Nobel Prize for Medicine was announced earlier today, and 2 of the 3 scientists sharing that prize are from right here in the West. Mary Branco of Seattle and Fred Ramsdell of San Francisco will share the prize with Shimon Sakaguchi of Japan. And as Fox's Gernal Scott reports tonight, their initial research on the immune system from decades ago is helping shape the medical world right now.
The 2025 Nobel Prize announcements kicked off Monday after 3 scientists, 2 in the U.S. and 1 in Japan, won the Medicine Prize for their work on peripheral immune tolerance.
This year's Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine relates to how we keep our immune system under control so we can fight all imaginable microbes.
The discoveries by Mary E. Branco, Fred Ramsdell, and Shimon Sakaguchi help the medical field grasp how the immune system attacks germs while also avoiding harm to our own bodies. The laureate's work dates back to 1995 when Sakaguchi made the first key discovery from his research on mice.
By winning the prize, I hope this research field develops further and be applied in a critical setting.
Medical experts have commended their findings, calling it critical to understanding autoimmune diseases better, including type 1 diabetes and lupus.
Immune regulation is incredibly important to study because our immune system is designed to prevent us from being attacked by pathogens, but at the same time it can attack us in the form of arthritis, multiple sclerosis.
Researchers are using the laureates' data to find enhanced treatment for diseases, improve organ transplant success, and strengthen the body's fight against cancer.
I don't know what else to say at this point. It's still, I'm sure it hasn't quite hit me yet.
The trio will share the prize's reward of almost $1.2 million. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Public health officials in Washington are warning tonight about a surge in whooping cough cases. The Washington State Department of Health has logged more than 1,900 cases so far this year. That's more than double the nearly 970 cases at this point last year. Whooping cough, also known as pertussis, can affect adults and children, but it can be life-threatening for infants and newborns. Many infants and babies who contract whooping cough are hospitalized. Experts say vaccination for mothers while pregnant is critical in protecting their infants. In Southern California, one of those trained hawks stolen from outside of SoFi Stadium during a Los Angeles Rams game has been found safe. We told you about that theft here on the show. Bubba was found about 30 miles away from the stadium in the community of Hacienda Heights by a Good Samaritan who recognized the bird from the news. The second hawk, Alice, remains missing tonight. Surveillance video shows a suspect driving off in a utility vehicle where those raptors were being housed. The birds are part of the stadium's falconry program. They're used by a handler to safely keep other unwanted birds away during events. A San Francisco nonprofit is stepping in to help support a wildlife project as the federal government moves to slash its funding. The Wildlife Conservation Network is working to raise $40 million to protect California's sea otter population. In 2022, federal lawmakers kicked off a project aimed at reintroducing otters to their historic range on the West Coast. But the Trump administration plans to slash funding for wildlife programs. Protecting the otter's historic home would boost the coast's biodiversity and climate resilience. Let's shift now and talk about our weather here in the West, and we will take you outside for a look at this gorgeous sunset tonight over San Francisco. What an incredible shot. Just look at those colors in the sky. Let's bring in KTVU's chief meteorologist, Mark Tamayo, with a look at the forecast. That is an incredible sight right there, Mark.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Yeah, typically in October, San Francisco, the Bay Area warms up nicely, and that's what's happening for today. San Francisco today, 84 degrees. Here's the overall weather pattern. If you can't see, this is the upper level wind pattern, and the upper level winds moving from land to sea. That's also happening at the surface, and as a result, not much in the way of fog out there, at least for the Bay Area, and temperatures allowed to warm up with that pattern. As we check out the radar coverage right now, you can see some coverage in portions of New Mexico, in parts of Colorado as well, closer to Denver, but still fairly quiet up and down the coast here from Seattle down toward San Francisco, down toward Southern California. Take a look at some of the highs in the 90s in Phoenix earlier today. San Francisco, 84. Some 70s for Portland and Seattle, around 70 to 78 degrees. This was the scene in Seattle today, showing you some clear skies, a bit of some haze with that 70 showing up. In San Francisco, a very warm day, 84 degrees. Temperatures a good 10 degrees up above the average for San Francisco. And in Phoenix, showing you some clear skies, temperatures in the 90s earlier this afternoon. Current numbers out there right now, we have 88 in Phoenix, Los Angeles 66. San Francisco has cooled off to 72. And Portland, Oregon, reporting 73 degrees. Here's the overall weather pattern for tomorrow, the overall weather story. We are expecting fair skies in Seattle for tomorrow, maybe a few clouds. There could be a pattern change, though, as we see some energy from the Pacific. That could boost some rain chances by Wednesday and into Thursday. The last warm day in the Bay Area, Los Angeles, some fog in the morning, becoming partly sunny into the afternoon hours. More sunshine for Phoenix, and we could have maybe a sun-cloud mix out toward the Denver area for tomorrow. Here's how the forecast model sees it. It's fairly quiet for tomorrow, just a few high clouds approaching Seattle for your Tuesday afternoon, and maybe some fog making a comeback that could cool down parts of the California coastline, including the Bay Area, in the Tuesday forecast. So here's the plan over the next few days. Seattle looks like fair skies for your Tuesday, but then about a 30 to 40% chance of some rainfall for Wednesday and into Thursday. San Francisco will definitely drop off those temperatures by midweek. Los Angeles, lots of 70s. Phoenix actually could warm up to right around 100 degrees on Wednesday, and then cooling off by Thursday. It looks like some more clouds in the Denver forecast for tomorrow. So, Alex, no major storms to talk about, at least in the forecast for tomorrow. But, of course, it's October, and we're getting closer to winter, and we could be talking about, of course, there's some more storm activity over the coming weeks.
Yeah, we'll have to be on the lookout.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, thank you. In Los Angeles, a new mural pays tribute to global ballet star Misty Copeland. The mural is on the side of a building in the San Pedro neighborhood where Copeland grew up. The work by L.A. artist El Mac was unveiled on Sunday. Copeland made history in 2015 as the first African-American woman to become a principal dancer at the American Ballet Theater. The mural celebrates her journey from being discovered in San Pedro to becoming a ballet superstar. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, another Coast Guard crew returns from sea after seizing thousands of pounds of illegal drugs in the Pacific Ocean. Still ahead tonight, the rare personal story of a father and son serving side by side during this mission. Both the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals lost on Sunday. The Cards were up 21-3 until they collapsed against the Tennessee Titans. Running back Imari DiMercado appeared to score on this 72-yard touchdown run, except when you look closely, he dropped the ball just before crossing the goal line. That ended up being enough to let the Titans start their comeback, and they went back and they stunned the Cardinals in this one, winning 22-21. The San Francisco 49ers, meantime, sit atop the NFC West at this point. Well, Oakland is celebrating the city's first professional baseball title since the A's won the 1989 World Series. The Oakland Ballers celebrated their Pioneer League championship with a parade around Raimondi Park. The Ballers took the title in their second year of existence. The parade was a victory lap, both for the Ballers as well as the city of Oakland.
This team showed is that, one, they didn't play for the name on the back, they played for the name on the front.
They said you can't get anything done in Oakland. That's wrong. We proved it.
Not only did we get a championship team out of it, but we got an improved community. They brought a love of baseball back to Oakland.
The parade included players, Oakland Mayor Barbara Lee, along with hundreds of fans lining that parade route. Well, a U.S. Coast Guard crew last month offloaded nearly 20,000 pounds of cocaine in San Diego. This was a seizure worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And as Fox's Wiley Jahari shows us tonight, two of those crew members who made it all happen are a father and son.
Was one of the largest drug seizures the U.S. Coast Guard has carried out in the Pacific. Nearly 20,000 pounds of cocaine intercepted at sea and offloaded in San Diego last month.
With every bust, the Coast Guard is not just seizing drugs, they are striking at the financial heart of these narco-terrorists.
But behind the headlines of dollars and kilograms, there's a rare personal story, a father and son who both served on the mission.
Well, what inspired me to enlist is I had family members that are also in the military. I had an uncle that told stories when I was a child, and I always thought about doing my part in serving.
I thought it was a good boost at the beginning of my life, good way to start my life as an adult. I saw it worked out well for him, so I was like, I could do it for a few years.
Fonseca and his son were part of the Coast Guard crews who brought the drugs ashore to San Diego. A father and son standing shoulder to shoulder in a high-stake operation.
My role on board is one of the chief engineers. I'm a senior chief for main propulsion, so I help make sure the plant's running to make us go, pretty much.
So I work in the galley all day, cooking meals for the entire crew.
Each in their own ways contributing to Operation Pacific Viper, a 2-month Coast Guard deployment in the Eastern Pacific designed to intercept narcotics before they reach U.S. shores.
Yeah, I just got to this boat. I'm going to be here for another 3 years, working in the galley, learning.
Fonseca is just beginning his career. His father saying the chance to be part of this mission together was overwhelming.
I think it's time for me to get ready to retire. So this may be one of my last trips for myself, and he's just starting out. So being on the ship together, it is a very unique experience. I'm very happy and I feel very fortunate and blessed to be able to do this. Been all over the place, and I do enjoy being a father, but I did miss a lot of time with him. And now that I'm back on a ship that does deploy, him coming out here has been nice, being able to keep that connection with at least one of them for now.
No doubt the contributions of everybody aboard the U.S. Midget Cutter contributes to protecting communities like San Diego from dangerous drugs. Reporting at the U.S. Marine Terminal, I'm Wiley Jahari.
All right, that does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching. As always, have a great night.